Hello and welcome to Fewar DVD, an action roguelite about dodging traps inside the real cursed world. So there is 2 treasure and 1 key in every level. And the goal of the game is to simply survive. Grab the key, get to the exit, rinse, repeat until the end of the game. The game is about, 5 areas long? Yeah, 5 areas. And then there's a shop every three levels, where you can pick up passive upgrades. There's a few active items in there. There isn't a ton of items in the game, but there's enough where it's worth grabbing them. In terms of the controls are really simple. The player always follows the cursor at a constant speed, and otherwise you can do a sort of dash with your left click to go a bit faster, and that's it. That's the controls. An interesting thing about the player always moving is that you have to be a little more careful about the traps. You can't just stop and wait for them. You have to actively kind of swivel your mouse around. Okay, we've got everything that we need this level. So each area has slightly unique traps to it. This area has a lot of sort of spiky stuff poking out, and has traps that seem to poison you. The way the poison works is how do you explain the poison? You can die from just the poison in this game. So if you get poisoned, you need to get out of the level immediately, because it will wear your health down to 0. So you really don't want to touch stuff in this area. Let's see, there's the key. I believe the shop is this floor. Yep, okay. I'm gonna grab the heart shield. This is just a shield that sort of orbits me and will take hits for me. There's apparently treasure up here. Gotcha. This area is all about fire. So there's a bunch of sort of dragon heads that will shoot fire at you. We're just gonna go grab the treasure over here. I can't remember if this is the level that... I can't remember if there was a shop on that floor or this floor. Ah, it's this floor. Okay. It's hard to keep track. Game's really fast. So there is the sword, and that is a way to... Okay, what I just bought is a revive. But there's a sword, and that is the only thing you can grab that will allow you a method of attack. But I find it kind of irrelevant. It's not really... I don't know. I just don't see a need to get rid of traps. Alright, welcome to the scariest area in the game. You gotta be real careful moving here. The walls are not safe. For this area, I usually try to just get the key and get out. So one of the things this game does really well is that the visuals and the soundtrack are really, really interesting. The game's very different visually. And there's things that look like they won't make sense. But the game, despite looking really weird, everything is told to you in a way that makes complete sense. And the game is simple enough where it just works. Oh, right, that can happen. If you need to use your revive, you usually have to get out of the level as fast as possible after using the revive. Let's give it another run. I'm gonna try to just speedrun to the final area to show what that looks like. Let's go. I don't know if there's... The dash is kind of useless aside from playing the game fast, but the weird thing is the game actively punishes playing fast. And that, I mean, it's just dangerous to do, so I'm not entirely sure... Like, maybe if it gave iframes or something, it'd make sense, I don't know. I also don't think it given iframes is necessary. Let's see. Oh yeah, another cool thing about this area is actually the sort of void on the ground. When you're on top of it, you actually can't use your dash. So it has these sort of dash limiters on the ground, which is really cool. The game is pretty creative with its traps. Yeah, like, see, I got poisoned there. Take out a ton of my health. Where is the key? Here we go. The game is really, really simple. I mean, what you're seeing is this is all there is to it. You can loop the game, and I'll show that if I can get there. And the only difference with looping is there is a secret mechanic that I won't talk about. It doesn't change the core gameplay loop too much, but it's there. There's a few secrets in the game to find, but but aside from that, and there being more traps, I mean, it's just your standard game gets harder as you go kind of thing. And looping is actually optional. You can just end a run. And one of my criticisms of the game actually does come from the looping, and that is that the game doesn't get hard enough quick enough, and runs get really long if you're good enough. And this is a game where it gets boring if you go for too long, because it's just like it's the same thing over and over and over. And the fun of it is how fast sessions are, at least to me. I like the simplicity. I like running around, dodging traps, getting to the exits, and then closing the game. But then when you're playing loop, and especially if you're playing slowly in loop, it's just kind of slow, and after playing for like an hour straight in one run, it just gets kind of boring, and it doesn't get hard enough, and there isn't enough going on in terms of interesting stuff in the loops. Like, not enough changes in the looping to keep the run interesting. So at some point it's just like, why bother? There is a leaderboard, so you can score chase, and people have gotten really, really far in the game. And then, otherwise, I mean, I think speedrunning the game is a lot more fun. Because I can just get in, go for it, and leave. This is a little spooky. There we go. This area is terrifying to me. It's harder than the final area, in my opinion. Alright, this is what the final area looks like. We got buttons. The buttons switch the traps. They kind of invert things. This area is really cool. It's also pretty difficult. Um, Not as difficult as the sword walls, but still difficult. Okay. Gotta be really careful. Oh boy, where is the key? Uh-oh. I'm legitimately a little bit scared because I didn't find the key right away. It's gotta be... okay. Right, we're on the last level. I'm actually gonna buy a revive if I can. Whoa. Don't kill me now. There's not a revive in here. This is a little scary. Okay, so this power-up makes it so that I can take more hits. This one pushes all the traps away, and I find that to be, like, a hindrance, actually. Because it puts things at an unpredictable angle. I'd rather just deal with the traps as they are. Okay. Oh, I've cornered myself. Oh, I've died. Alright, I guess I won't be showing Lippy. But yeah, that is Fewar DVD. The game is, I think, like $5. It's really cheap. And it is very addictive. And I hope you enjoyed.